tech, and hundreds more at unbeatable prices. I guarantee it. If it's repairs or lampshades you need, we have all that too. There's also unique sports and historical items, neon lights, slot machines, and much more for sale. You'll find fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. BBC is open Monday through Saturday and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue near Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 1 o'clock and 28 degrees in Milwaukee. Today, mostly sunny, high of 29. We're almost there. Tonight, chance of light snow late, mostly cloudy otherwise. We'll dip down to 23 this evening. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Ty. An assistant basketball coach with Milwaukee Public Schools now faces a sexual assault charge.
Keelan Tyler is alleged to have picked up the child, who has special needs, before heading to a warehouse in New Berlin, where the child says the assault took place. The criminal complaint notes Tyler became upset with the way the child had cleaned a bathroom before pulling them in and locking the door. The child's mother says Tyler was their mentor between June and October of 2023. MPS has not commented on the allegations, but Tyler is still listed on the Alexander Hamilton High School website as an assistant basketball coach. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Tyler is currently out of custody after posting $5,000 bond. He faces up to 35 years in prison if convicted. A software breach is impacting multiple school districts across northeast Wisconsin. National educational tech company PowerSchool alerted districts that they experienced a cybersecurity attack targeting their student information system. NBC 26's Perry Apostolakis spoke to district officials.
In the Howard-Suamico School District's message to families Wednesday, they say PowerSchool confirmed to them this was not a ransomware attack, but the company paid a ransom to prevent the data from being released. When we asked PowerSchool to verify this, they did not confirm or deny HSSD's claim.
PowerSchool says no financial or Social Security information was compromised. Well, could people in Milwaukee get refunds for snow and ice removal charges? Alderman Peter Bergelis introduced the recommendation after Milwaukee's Department of Public Works' poor performance to a snowstorm just before Christmas. City Budget Director Nick Kovac says refunds would not be possible this year due to a balanced city budget.
I, as Budget Director, do not recommend changing the 25 budget right now when we haven't changed. We're still going to have the expenses. So I'm not recommending it. Now, your question was, how would you do it? Will you be going against our recommendation? And the answer is, I don't know exactly how you do it. There might be multiple options how you do a refund, but I'll just want to be on record. The administration would be against that.
Milwaukee uses the $11 million collected from snow and ice removal fees to balance the yearly budget. Growing questions around the L.A. mayor's controversial decision to visit Africa for the inauguration of Ghana's president this week, while L.A. faced Santa Ana wind threats on Tuesday. Returning to L.A. today, the mayor answered questions about the nearly $18 million in cuts to the city's fire department budget just months before the wildfires now ravaging parts of her city.
There were no reductions that were made that would have impacted the situation that we were dealing with over the last couple of days.
Firefighters are battling to control the series of fires that have killed at least 5 people and forced more than 180,000 people to leave their homes. Packers and Eagles kick off at 3:30 Sunday in Philadelphia. A Philly bar and grill named Kraft Hall is hosting visiting fans at the Packers' official pep rally on Saturday night. The manager there tells Wisconsin's Morning News, despite their reputation, she expects Eagles fans to be welcoming.
They should definitely be able to show their spirit and come decked out in Packers gear. I think I would just try not to start an argument with any local Philadelphian in a bar.
That's probably always a good idea if you're in a bar with anyone, anywhere. Don't try to start an argument. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The stock markets are closed today out of respect for President Carter. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:04.
By now you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semper Fi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Breaking news right now, there's currently an increased law enforcement presence in the city of Elroy. This is connected to the investigation of Virgil Thu. The breaking news, Virgil Thu apprehended and is in custody. He is the suspect in the New Lisbon triple homicide. Once again, the suspect in the New Lisbon triple homicide, Virgil Thu, now in custody. The public is not in any danger. We expect more details throughout the day. Time now for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Packers quarterback Jordan Love officially limited at Packers practice, according to head coach Matt LaFleur and the team's injury report. Love working to dial in the Packers' passing attack that will be without Christian Watson on Sunday against the Eagles.
Footwork, the timing of the plays, being on the same page with the receivers, obviously your fundamentals, throwing the ball, make sure everything's on point. So there's a lot of things that play into that, but it comes down to just being locked into the details.
Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts also limited at practice as he remains in the concussion protocol. College football tonight, Notre Dame takes on Penn State in the college football semifinals. Ohio State and Texas meet in the other semifinal on Friday. Let's check out the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We've been doing pretty good for the most part. Right now, we do have a disabled vehicle that just popped up minutes ago. I-94 East at 35th Street. Right shoulder is blocked. Looks like an SUV that is off to the side there. And then also, I-94 East now just happening just 2 minutes ago. I-94 East is closed at the ramp from Barker Road because of a crash. This looks like it could be a bad one here. Once again, I-94 East closed at the ramp from Barker Road because of a crash, and there is definitely a significant backup starting. That's over by the corners of Brookfield area. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, mostly sunny, high of 29. We're almost there. Tonight, chance of light snow late, mostly cloudy. Otherwise, we'll dip down to 23. Tomorrow, a few snow showers in the early morning hours, mostly cloudy throughout the day, high of 31. Saturday, partly cloudy, high of 28. Sunday, light snow is likely, some accumulation. You can expect that, high of 32. Monday, mostly cloudy, breezing, and dropping temps. We have a high of 23 on Monday. It's currently 30 degrees in Port Washington, 26 in Racine, and 28 in Milwaukee. I'm Jessica Ty. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:09.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. Well, it is sunny, but it is still cold. I am still warming up because I had to spend some time outside, but I am happy to be indoors with you, Brian.
Thank you. Well, glad you have made it inside. We'll talk about what you were doing outside.
Is your mic on?
My mic is on.
It sounds like it.
Red, blue light.
I'm going to keep talking. All right. So coming up today, we're. You want to try it again, Brian?
Yeah, sure.
Oh!
Okay. I don't have any control over the volume out here.
All right. Hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Glad you're back inside where it's warm. We'll talk about what you did later. No, it's a tale of two countries today because on the West Coast, obviously, the entire Los Angeles area is still dealing with these catastrophic fires. Yeah. I know you were just showing me some pictures of the devastation to your friends, not only their house, but the entire neighborhood. I spoke with a friend of mine last night who is in North Hollywood. For those of you who don't know, that's in the San Fernando Valley, but the Hollywood fire broke out last night, which was broaching that.
Did your friend, were they evacuated?
No, they were still...
Hollywood, my brother and his girlfriend left to Palm Springs, yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine. That's why I say I just can't fathom the entire world being on fire.
I just saw something on Instagram that the comparison of what was burned in the Palisades fire is larger than the entire island of Manhattan.
It's amazing. And probably as densely populated.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that I think that's what's crazy to think of Altadena and think of Pacific Palisades is so often when we were talking about yesterday about the fires, it's in more rural areas, typically, like Malibu, like the Malibu properties that would be in distress or burned, huge properties, right? And the Palisades is as densely packed as any of our, suburban neighborhoods in southeast Wisconsin. When you think of Greendale, when you think of Whitefish Bay, when you think of any of these, it's like city plots and the houses are right next to each other. So to see the fire going up in such densely populated areas is what's out of the norm.
And the winds fueling them because, like you said, these are big houses, but they're not on big lots.
No.
So the wind is just carrying the embers and the sparks right over. And then, you've got the crazy coverage nonstop. And I don't mean crazy like they shouldn't be doing it, but just these reporters going into it. I was watching Anderson Cooper yesterday, who you would think rationally would be to a point in his career where he wouldn't have to prove himself by going into the fire, but he was in there.
Do you think I think he wants to.
I do too.
I mean, isn't that how he started his career? He just started He just started showing up places and
reporting stuff.
So I think it's more of a
he wanted
self-determination.
But as he's there, a tree was on fire, but not like on fire from the outside. It was burning from the inside out. And Anderson was just covered in soot. And then you've got David Muir. And unapologetically, I'm a David Muir fan. I like watching ABC News. I made a joke to Debbie when the news came on last night. I go, ooh, David's going to get to wear some more adventure clothing because he loves to be there. The weird thing was, I'm looking at him and he's wearing a firefighter coat. And those are big and boxy to protect firefighters. Not David's. David's was very snug and tailored. Jack Osborne.
You think there was like a clothespin in the back, pitting it together like they do on models?
Jack Osborne, Ozzy Osbourne's son, got video. There was a big clip on the back. David Muir had his big fireman's coat cinched in so he would look more fit.
Yeah, so it was a little more flattering.
Because God forbid we go, oh my God, Los Angeles is on fire. Did David Muir put on a couple of pounds? Is that what we're worrying about? So that's the West Coast of the country.
Yes.
On the East Coast, of course, today was the state funeral for former President Jimmy Carter. All the living presidents were in attendance there. Joe Biden giving the eulogy, wrapping the whole thing up. Today is a national day of mourning. If you're finding some things are closed, we do national days of mourning for all different kinds of things. But like the death or funeral of a president, some other renowned individual, they might do that. Wartime commemorations, occurrence of an anniversary of a significant disaster, things like that. So that's why flags are at half staff today, and that's why some of the things that you may be looking for are closed. That's why we're not hearing the stock market numbers today. So That was nice. You pointed out I've been busy. I didn't see this picture. There was a unique picture coming out of the funeral.
And I don't want to spend too much time on it.
No.
But there was a picture of President Obama, or former President Obama, and President-elect Donald Trump sitting next to each other at the funeral, and Donald Trump whispering or saying something to Obama, and Obama laughing.
Yeah.
And I think depending on who sees that picture, you probably either interpret that as, well, this is, presidents being presidents. And then I think there's probably some who are like very mad at Obama for even laughing at anything that Donald Trump has to say as they prepare themselves for what's to come.
Well, one, this is how grown-ups are supposed to act.
That's my take.
But also, I'm looking at video on CNN, the two of them sitting next to each other, and Trump is running his mouth nonstop, and former President Obama isn't making eye contact. He's answering him, you could tell, but he's not like turning to him like I'm looking at you now. It's more like if you were talking to me and I just, whatever.
It's like your friend who won't stop talking in class and you're just like, you're going to get us in trouble.
Right.
Stop talking to me.
So it depends on where you look and what your perspective is, because here, former President Obama doesn't look.
Are you saying the picture doesn't tell the whole story, Brian?
I don't want to do that, Kristen, because I believe everything that's on the internet. I believe that the California fires were caused because the water was used to keep smelt healthy instead of fighting fires. I believe all that stuff because it's on the internet, so it's got to be true, right?
All right. And then meanwhile, in Madison, Republican lawmakers wasted no time to get to their priority. So we were going to talk about what they got done yesterday.
Thank goodness.
Could be on your ballot in April. So stay with us on Spanning the State.
The only place to get this.
Every twist and turn you could possibly dream of is playing out tonight. Are you kidding me?
With some of this.
We are the Bucks, Justin. You're a member of the team now. Okay. Well, I have the tattoo on my arm, so I kind of am.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show with Justin Garcia and Brandon Snide. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Elizabeth and John bought their starter home 8 years ago, BC, as in before children. Now, with 2 elementary school-age kids, they wanted to make a move to the suburbs for a bigger home with more yard. But they didn't know if or how they could buy their next home without selling their current one. Fortunately, a friend who was a multi-time AccuNet client connected them with us, and we soon determined they could, in fact, afford to buy without selling first, which was a big relief to them and their real estate agent. Armed with an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval, it still took several weeks to find the right home for the next chapter in their life. But I'm happy to report that Elizabeth, John, and their boys opened their presents on Christmas morning in their new home after closing just a few days before. Whether you're buying your first home or your next home, go with the pros who have all the tools and know-how to make your home buying experience as smooth and successful as humanly possible. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Numbness, tingling in the hands, arms, legs, feet. Time to go see Dr. Alex Young and my team at Connect Chiropractic. Regular chiropractic care can bring life-changing results for folks who suffer from neuropathy and fibromyalgia, nervous system issues that can be corrected. And no worries about twisting, cracking, or popping. The docs at Connect Chiro use all the same method, a special tool that is pain-free and effective for your adjustments. Visit them in Delafield and Wauwatosa or get started online at GoConnectChiro.com.
I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city.
Do they still have Schoolhouse Rock?
I feel like I would love to do a new Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes,
I think we're
update
in
it.
desperate need of it, just like we need. Has Sesame Street found a home yet?
Not yet. How is PBS not taking them back?
Probably don't have the money.
Come on. Sesame Street belongs on PBS.
I agree with
for all
that,
the children.
but-
And I agree, because I still, at my age, I still know a Bill on his way to Capitol Hill. I know. Conjunction Junction. I know its function, hooking up words and phrases and clauses. I know
That's what I mean. I feel like we need those kinds of educational shows back. I would say this is totally, we're going to come back to the topic that we're actually going to talk about. But that's what I feel about, do you know who Miss Rachel is yet?
No, only because
All right, I'm going to send you videos.
Only you
But
telling
that
me.
is my go-to now when I need to get the stuff done. That's the thing I feel most confident about putting on as far as screen time for Frankie, because it's very educational as far as helping her learn how to identify objects and talk and everything. But yes, I also think that we need Schoolhouse Rock to come back as far as understanding civics and having some fun with it. And
sounds like a spanning the state type project that we could come up with.
That's not animated, because neither of us can draw.
Well, we'll have to find it. There's got to be an animator. We must know somebody who can draw.
We'll figure it out.
Or we'll just do bad stick figures.
All right. Well, session is now bad. The legislative session has started.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, Wisconsin lawmakers returned to the state capitol and to codify the state's voter identification law in the state constitution, a move that Republican bill authors said would protect the rule from the liberal-controlled state Supreme Court. So yesterday, it was voted in the Senate. So the Republican senators voted along party lines to approve the resolution. And now it will move on to the Assembly, who will also likely approve it. And that will move forward. And then this is going to be the first, maybe the only, but if this all passes, will be the first statewide referendum on our April 1st ballot. Will be to codify voter ID laws in Wisconsin, because right now we all know that state laws already require voters to show photo identification, but this would be harder for it to ever be overturned in a court case.
And I know we've talked about this, and it comes up at every election. Has there been a lot of problems with people not having IDs when they go to the polls? I don't remember in the November election hearing about it a lot. You know?
No, I mean, I think that's always the argument, right? The argument is by requiring ID, you prove who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to most of us who always have our ID on us, we don't. And that's why I do think if this got on the ballot, it would pass.
Yeah, because most people, as you started to say, most of us don't understand not having an ID with us.
Yeah.
Even for people who don't drive, like we drive, we need our driver's license. That's our ID. If you don't drive, you can get state IDs are available. There's different IDs, and I was always under the impression that you had to have ID on you if for whatever reason. But if you're going to buy things and you're using your credit card, a lot of places want your ID. If you're so it's hard to understand why people wouldn't have ID. I understand the nefarious reasons why it's become a political thing.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the real world aspect of not having an ID.
And I think it just comes back to, you know, the unhoused people,
yes,
lack of transportation, lack of a bit like just,
right.
You know, no one likes going to the DMV,
No.
right? And so and the argument is that requiring voter identification is basically it adds an extra burden to something that is a right, which I think is interesting because if you compare the two, so the criticism from Democrats having this be the very first thing on the agenda in a new legislative session is, did we not have a school shooting less than a month ago and we don't want to talk about any kind of gun safety laws at all?
We send thoughts and prayers, Kristen.
Yeah. And and I think it's interesting because there is a right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the Second Amendment, so the right to bear arms and have a gun. And we constantly, I think, are seeing lawsuits as far as infringing upon the Second Amendment, right? Of making it harder to buy a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And there's those arguments. And yet there's, I think sometimes on the other side of the aisle, we're totally fine making it harder to vote. Even though
yes.
The flip side is how common voter fraud is very low. And so you're protecting against something that doesn't happen very often versus what we know in America is gun violence happens all the time.
Well, it's a theoretical preemptive defense against voter fraud versus the very concrete need to look at how tough it is to get a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's going to
store a gun.
It's almost like when we yesterday were talking about things that most people would never argue against. Kids should have something to eat. Yes. People should have whatever.
Clean water.
Clean water. Yes. Those are two things. So most people would say, well, we should be able to vote. You should go to vote. But for some reason, that's been twisted into something else. And to your point about hardships, yeah, is there a way, do we have to look at the system and say, all right, everybody's got to go to the DMV. Maybe can there be a mobile DMV, like we used to have bookmobiles, maybe a mobile DMV mobile to go around to certain neighborhoods and say, on Wednesday from 3 to 6, we're going to be in this neighborhood. If you need an ID, make sure you bring whatever papers you need to bring to get that ID, and do more of an outreach to reach the people who are having a burden to get to the facility. Reach out to them. But then that's going to upset some people. Go, well, we all had to go to the DMV. Why don't you have to go? Because everybody's not the same.
Yeah.
But everybody who's a citizen has that same right to vote. So let's make sure they can.
Yeah. My prediction, though, is that this will pass. This will be on the April 1st ballot. And because I think it's just because it's popular, right? Because I think most people think that. It's like, how hard is it to get an ID? And I think for people who, League of Women Voters and some of the civics organizations that we've interviewed before that you usually hear from, who are on the opposite side of this issue, it's a hard thing to message clearly of why this is an infringement on people's ability to vote.
Right. And I'd also be interested to see what percentage of the population is affected by that burden.
So apparently, I have this number. I just had it.
I figured you did.
Now I lost it.
Because
I think it was something like 11%. It's higher than you think.
That's a lot of people.
And so it was, I remember when I read it earlier and trying to prepare for this, and of course, now I've lost it. It was a higher number than I was expecting as far as people who do not have ID. Not that they can't get ID, because you can get a free ID for voting purposes, but with whatever barriers exist.
Yeah, and then you have to look, you wonder, and this is me being devil's advocate, I guess, if a portion of that 11% are people who, like the people who won't go to a shelter when it's really cold, or the people who, there's a lot of different reasons, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but is that 11% of people who do want to get an ID and do want to participate in the elections, but just can't for whatever reason? Or is it closer to 5%, which is still a lot?
Yeah.
But
well, I'm sure, like I said, if this is going to be on the ballot, we'll have plenty of time to talk about it between now and April 1st, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of campaigning around that, but we will have more on Spanning the State after this.
There are a lot of interesting people and traditions in Wisconsin. 1 hour of covering culture and creativity in our state is simply not enough. I'm Sandy Max of WTMJ's What's on Tap with the happy news that my show is now expanded to 2 hours. So please join me weeknights from 6 till 8 for updates on festivals, films, food, music, theater, and other ways we love to make the most of Wisconsin life. What's on Tap with Sandy Max weeknights now from 6 till 8 on WTMJ. And subscribe to the What's on Tap podcast to listen anytime you want.
I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. Should I delay my Social Security benefits, or should I start taking them right away? The truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Your decision can impact your income for the rest of your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we help you create a strategy to maximize your benefits so you can make the most of what you've earned. Social Security is just one stop on your retirement-ready roadmap. Take the first step today. Text SS to 414-897-9522 to claim your free retirement toolkit and get a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready. Don't leave money on the table. Text SS to 414-897-9522.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
Deep freeze is here. It's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with exclusive deals you won't find anywhere else. Save up to $150 on Mexico and Caribbean vacations with Apple Vacations, or get Fox exclusive cruise perks like onboard credits and more with Celebrity Cruises, Holland America, or Princess. Don't miss this limited time to book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code radio.
All right. Well, my memory proved me right. It was 11% of Americans, so nationwide.
Okay.
Do not have a form of ID. So it's about 21 million. That doesn't seem right. 21 million is not 11% of Americans.
No.
This is from Ballotpedia that I was looking at this number, but now that's not making sense.
When you read further and it said older people and poorer people don't have it, and that goes back to my outreach with all of these assisted living, senior living, all these centers. That would be an easy outreach to say, okay, we're coming to your building on Wednesdays, and we're gonna, you can get your ID.
But it's also and this is someone might have to correct me, but is it possible to offer IDs at other municipal buildings besides a DMV?
Yeah.
Like,
why not?
Yeah, like at City Hall and stuff like that. There's more options than just a DMV and dealing with all the other people who are there for.
Because I'm guessing there might be people who, have some free time.
Could be.
Could be.
All right, we'll have more after this, but ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Fire crews continue to battle multiple blazes in Southern California, including the largest and most devastating fire on record for the city of Los Angeles. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is on scene.
The Palisades fire, it's still burning out of control. And so it's helpful that we have the winds that have calmed down a bit, but they are going to be picking up back again. So firefighters have this pocket of opportunity to try to get as much under control as they can.
That Santa Ana winds expected to flare up again this afternoon and in the coming days. Donald Trump is due to appear in court tomorrow in his New York hush money trial. The state's highest court declined to halt the sentencing hearing. Trump's attorneys have appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court to block the hearing. It is a national day of mourning honoring former President Jimmy Carter. A state funeral was held earlier at National Cathedral in Washington. His casket now making the final journey to his home state of Georgia. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. I'm Jessica Ty. Breaking news this afternoon, the manhunt ends for an accused murderer. Police have arrested 47-year-old Virgil Thu. He's a suspect in the triple murder in New Lisbon. There's a large police presence right now in the city of Elroy, but the public is not in danger. Thu faces 3 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. His girlfriend, 33-year-old Elizabeth Kolba, and her 2 kids were found dead at home in New Lisbon on December 30th. Once again, the suspect in the triple murder in New Lisbon, now in police custody. A man is now charged with scamming an elderly Waukesha woman out of thousands of dollars. Jun Shi Leong faces a felony count of money laundering. Prosecutors say he misled the woman by pretending to work for Waukesha State Bank. The 84-year-old victim had an account there. Investigators say he instructed her to reach out to her portfolio manager and withdraw $200,000. Liang was arrested during a sting operation last January when the victim was giving him what appeared to be gold bars. Canada is looking to retaliate if President-elect Donald Trump goes ahead with his threat to impose 25% tariffs on all Canadian products. A senior official says Canada might put tariffs on American orange juice, sinks, toilets, and some steel products. Citrus production largely happens in Florida, now Trump's home state. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. It is a quick one because the markets are closed today in honor of former President Jimmy Carter. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's go ahead right now and get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We do have one problem spot. It's out in the Brookfield area. I-94 East is closed from US 18 to the ramp from Moreland Road. This is because of a crash. Traffic is definitely slow going here. I can see as I look at the cameras, you've got a semi that's trying to move along towards the side. Emergency responders are out there right now. It is slow going, but the good news is it's not slow going for long. So once you get up to about Brookfield Road, it's looking okay. But that could change as they start to clean things up. Once again, I-94 East closed from US 18 to the ramp at Moreland Road, because of a crash. And here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast today. Mostly sunny, high of 29. Tonight, chance of light snow in the later hours, mostly cloudy otherwise, low of 23. Tomorrow, we will have a few AM snow showers, mostly cloudy for the rest of the day, high of 31 tomorrow. Saturday, partly cloudy, high of 28. Sunday, light snow is likely, high at 32. Monday, high of 23, mostly cloudy and breezy, and dropping temps. It's currently 30 degrees in Port Washington, 26 in Racine, and 28 in Milwaukee. I'm Jessica Ty. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
I found a fountain of youth down there at QC Kinetics.
That's Henry Hinton, feeling like his young, active self again after treatments at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine.
I still have trouble walking down steps as I get older. Now, I've had one treatment so far, and I can already tell a difference in my knee.
And that treatment at QC Kinetics used Henry's own natural healing properties, concentrated and placed right at the source of the pain. So Henry and patients just like him will enjoy long-term relief without surgery or downtime.
My knee is not hurting. I remember I was walking down some steps yesterday, and I thought, wow, this is not hurting when I walk down steps. I'm all in on it. I'm all in on QC Kinetics.
It's time to wind back the clock to days without constant joint pain. Start with a call to QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
We've saved our clients over $19 million in real estate commission. I say this because that's a pretty big number. But at Century 21 Benefit Realty, it's really not about being a top volume agency. Over here, it's more about you. And at 1.9% commission and no more than $19,000 commission, for the listing side of your sale, no matter what size property you're selling, you will save substantially. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. And I can't wait to get on the road again.
Willie Nelson. Very nice, Rhea. I don't know why. I know why. Because what we're talking about, it's spanning the state. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And fix the dang roads, Brian.
Please.
That has been a mantra, I think, for a long time. In most Midwest weather-torn areas, but certainly we've heard Evers say that a lot. Fix the damn roads.
Fix the damn roads.
But apparently, paying for road building and maintenance isn't a new problem for Wisconsin. Since the 80s, at least once a decade, policymakers have embarked on major studies seeking help to solve it.
So they spent a lot of money on major studies instead of just.
Well, we also spent a lot of money on major projects, but the problem is other roads that also need maintenance. So now Wisconsin policymakers are nearing a crossroads on how to fund the state's transportation system. The Wisconsin Policy Forum has a new report out assessing and how to fund Wisconsin's transportation needs. And researcher at Wisconsin Policy Forum, Tyler Burns, joins us now to talk about it. Welcome to the show, Tyler.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me on.
Sure.
So it may seem like an obvious question, but can you just remind us why good roads, maintained roads, are so important to the economy?
So roads connect us to, work, school, get us to the store, or, get our goods to us that we ordered online. But then they don't work alone, right? So you need rail connections and airports and ports, and they really connect, our manufacturing industry, our agricultural industry, our timber industry to the rest of the country and the rest of the world. And, for Wisconsin, that's really important. We exported something like $28 billion of goods in 2023. And of that, almost $4 billion was agricultural, food, or forest products. And so, really a solid transportation network connects us to the rest of the world and is a key for a healthy economy.
All right. Can you explain to us, Krista mentioned that Wisconsin is at a crossroads. So what are those crossroads and how did we get at this intersection?
So I think, as you mentioned, it's how do we pay for continuing to maintain this vital system, given, the sort of slow growth in transportation revenue we've seen. And really we've seen over the past 15 to 20 years, slow growth in our major revenue sources for transportation. Think about the gas tax and the vehicle registration fee, really the two biggest ones. A big part of that is because in 2006, state leaders decided to end the practice of automatically increasing the state's gas tax each year in response to inflation. Over that same 15 to 20 year time period, we embarked on a series of vital but costly projects. Think about our rebuild of the zoo interchange, upgrading U.S. Highway 51 to an interstate. These projects, the numbers get huge. They're multiple billions of dollars. And so, they're really important to the entire state, but they're expensive. So we created a gap by, pursuing these projects while not having revenue growth. We created this gap. We filled it for a good while with borrowing, which, again, that's a reasonable thing to do for a project that's going to last 50, 60 years. But then by 2019, the legislature and the governor said, hey, we're going to fix the damn roads. Let's raise registration and title fees. Well, that happened just in time for 3 years of record inflation, which ate that up. So our current budget, we said, hey, that got eaten up. We've got $7 billion of general fund money. So general fund is, our income taxes, our sales taxes, corporate income taxes, those sorts of things. We said, hey, we've got this great big balance in our general fund budget. Let's dedicate $750 million of that to the state's transportation fund to kind of get us through this budget. And, I don't know if you've seen projections for the next budget, but we're going to come in with a much smaller balance, closer to $4 billion. Our revenues aren't going to outstrip our spending by quite as much as it did in the previous budget. And so we can maybe kick over a bunch of general fund money for one more budget, but the crossroads is, okay, so what are we going to do next? We've got projects like the I-94 East-West Corridor, projects like I-3990 from the Illinois border north, and we have local roads that are declining in quality. So how are we going to address those conditions on the road with a declining revenue source?
Yeah, so we basically need to figure out what are our options for revenue sources. And so what ideas are being thrown out there?
So there's the obvious ones, right? The gas tax and the registration fee, the gold standards. We could do what other states do, which is permanently dedicate a little bit more of our general fund money to transportation. We're roughly about 5% most years. Bounces around nationally, that's about 14.5%. So, what that would mean is our general tax dollars would go to the roads, but that would mean those general tax dollars couldn't go to things like school aids, tax cuts, all the statewide priorities that we have. And so that's kind of the trade-off there. There are some innovative solutions out there. Think about these vehicle miles traveled fee, which is like, okay, I drive 10,000 miles. I pay. I either have a GPS in my car or report it on my registration, those sorts of things. Local governments could institute some sort of local fee if we allowed them. And then there's always, the third rail of Wisconsin transportation policy, tolling, which, always something that could be looked at.
Why is there who is against tolls? Like Wisconsin, I mean, obviously,
as a guy who pays a lot of tolls every day.
So that's the thing, but like not within the city, but like Wisconsin has. Do we have any tolls anywhere in the state?
We do not, and again, it's always been very unpopular. I don't know if it's an Illinois thing. If we remember what it was like to sit in the toll booth in the 1990s and wait to pay our toll.
Make sure you have enough change.
Now we
in your
have
car.
open road, baby. We just zip right through.
Right. So it's a different environment. It's definitely something that could be looked into a little more seriously. But it would be a new method, and we have some pretty good old standbys. But again, we haven't really gone to that well, so maybe it's worth looking into tolling again.
Well, if the old standbys are not getting the job done for whatever reason, what are the chances that the legislature is going to say, okay, we realize that we need to bring in one of these new ideas?
That's a good question. I always think of it as there's sort of three levers you can pull. You can borrow more, you can raise your fees, or you could use, the general fund, or you can cut the program, I suppose. So that's a fourth lever. But there's no magic ticket that says, hey, there's these new group of people that haven't been paying for roads in the past, and we're going to get them to pay again in the future. It's tough for me to project what the legislature is going to do. Maybe it's a different legislature, different governor. They haven't raised the gas tax, but one of the things we found in our research is that the gas tax, despite proclamations of its demise, could still raise substantial revenue over the next 10, 15 years if they decided to go that way. And we used to have a very high gas tax, I think fourth in the country. Now we're kind of, middle of the pack. So, something to think about.
Is this also where the new EV tax is going? Is this the fund for that?
Yeah. So there's the decision in the last budget to allocate sales taxes on a new EV. So if you go out and buy a new EV, the sales taxes from that purchase, an estimated amount anyway, is transferred to the transportation fund. And so really, if we saw, if everybody went out and bought a brand new EV tomorrow, the transportation fund would benefit from that quite a bit because of this new, just in the last budget, new policy where sales taxes from EVs are allocated to the transportation fund.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it, depending on your assumptions about how much that EV costs, they do pay through that sales tax about as much per year as, you'd get from a regular gasoline vehicle. Again, the modeling of that is, you get real specific. But generally speaking, EV purchases aren't going to hurt the state's transportation fund that much, and maybe if it's a real expensive one, might actually help it in comparison to a gas car.
All right. Interesting stuff. We will continue to watch this as the budget process plays out. But Tyler Burns, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and we'll talk to you again.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Tyler.
He is a researcher at Wisconsin Policy Forum, where they do amazing, nerdy, but amazing research as far as all things budget and different issues going on across the state.
We need nerds.
We need nerds. We love nerds.
I'm all for the nerds.
Revenge of the nerds. All right, we'll be back in just a minute.
I know, January's here. WTMJ's John Mercure. If you have the January blues, start your weekend tonight with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, voted the best supper club in the area. Enjoy any steak, the seafood, the pan-fried walleye, a fresh salad, steak and lobster, the ribs, the pasta, any dinner on the menu. Your second dinner is free. Desserts and those huge ice cream drinks. Also, buy one, get one free. Sip on an old-fashioned, a Manhattan. Check out the bourbon. 100 wines on the new wine list. The Fox and Hounds in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest is a one-of-a-kind gem. The holiday decorations are still up with thousands of lights. The Christmas characters. It's a must-see, and those 7 wood-burning fireplaces will keep you warm on a cold January night. Weekends might be too busy for some, so enjoy a quiet, romantic dinner tonight at the Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The drive is beautiful. Start your weekend tonight with a free dinner. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to adventknows.com.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semper Fi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal, to do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Market Watcher Brian Wickert. Well, a lot of folks have buying a home on their New Year's resolution list, and while national news headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, I'm afraid that's just not the case in most of Wisconsin. So how do you make your offer stand out from the others so that someone else doesn't end up sleeping in your dream home? Well, it takes a team of a good real estate agent and a mortgage lender who has all the tools and techniques to help make your offer as attractive as possible in the eyes of that seller. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet, rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that might also come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. We'll also help you understand exactly what it means in dollars and cents if you do decide to offer over asking or give that seller some appraisal wiggle room. All you have to do to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Okay, campers, rise and shine. It's Groundhog Day. And don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there today.
Phil? Hey, Phil!
No, not you.
It's me, man! Ryerson!
Okay, little fella.
This is not going to surprise you, Kristen. Rhea has never seen that movie.
So I've been told.
How could that be?
Hey!
Listen, again. So that's Groundhog Day. This is, all right. You have brought something to the table that I am flabbergasted by.
All right, so Amy Schwabe in Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel wrote about this, but everyone should know at this point that in March of 2023, so right after his big day, Gordy the Groundhog at the Milwaukee County Zoo unexpectedly died.
Shout out Gordy.
It was very sad. It was very unexpected. He was only 5 years old, or wasn't even 5 years old yet, and he was only about, I guess they lived to be about 10, so he was he was young.
Middle age.
And so now for the second straight year, so last year, the kind of makeshift.
Yeah. Did they just use the puppet?
No, they used penguins.
Oh, that's right.
So in 2024, the penguins came out and whether or not they saw their shadow. And for the second year, I think they're doing the same thing this year, but there certainly is not going to be a groundhog at the Milwaukee County Zoo this year again because, so this is what Amy wrote about, which I thought was kind of interesting. So what made Gordy really special is that he was a human-raised groundhog, which is also a woodchuck. I did not know that.
Is that right?
They're interchangeable.
How much can they chuck?
I mean, when they're not alive, not a lot.
Not a lot.
But, so it's the second straight year, there's not going to be a groundhog or a woodchuck. Okay. And because Gordy was human-raised, there was all these benefits to his temperament.
Oh,
because the previous groundhog, Winter, was not human-raised and was a little harder to do. He wasn't as amicable about doing some of the education that Gordy was very good at, and all the special things that he did as far as being a better temperament for the different activities, like more than just doing Groundhog's Day.
It makes sense. You don't want, if you're a wild groundhog, I'm guessing you don't want people lifting you up.
Well, here's the thing. Woodchucks, naturally aggressive, defensive animals. I mean, I think they're probably in the same family as like badgers to a certain extent. Badgers do not screw with a badger, like a wild badger, right? And so, but most animals to a certain extent, I think wild animals,
yes, unless
raised with humans, aren't just like, I'm not gonna be paraded around.
Yeah, I'm an animal. Leave me alone. Just don't touch me.
So that's why it's been so hard to replace Gordy, is because they're specifically wanting to have a human-raised groundhog.
So do they have to wait till like groundhogs that are in captivity mate? And I'm not being funny, mate, and then immediately take the baby groundhog and raise it around humans?
That's what I have to probably go read the article again. But as far as the ability to, because they aren't born very often. There's not like huge litters of groundhogs. Okay. So there you go.
So it's like pandas. You got to wait and wait and wait because they're temperamental. They're choosy. They don't just swipe right willy-nilly.
Isn't that part of the reason why pandas are going extinct is because they're not...
Yeah, they're too picky.
with each other for mating,
yeah,
right?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Is it too picky or too lazy? Isn't that also part of it? Is there always I can't be bothered?
Listen, if it's going to be that much work, yeah, you just give up. You forget about it. I'm going to sit over here, chew some bamboo, and roll on my back. I'm not going after another panda.
Yeah. So if you want to see, I think this year again, the Penguins will see their. I mean, that's kind of a novelty of itself, though.
It is. It is. I'm fascinated now with how then you would get a human-raised groundhog. Where they'd have to, you would think other zoos.
You'd take it
maybe
basically, as soon as one's born, and be like, dibs, we got to raise it. All right, we got to break. When we come back after the top of the hour news, we will spin around the state on Spanning the State.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Higginson, Saturday afternoon at 2. Tune in each week as John exposes industry myths for truth seekers looking to navigate their way to financial freedom. What he reveals may surprise you. To learn more about the show and how creative planning can help you build a custom financial plan and portfolio tailored to you and your goals, visit creativeplanning.com/radio. Don't settle for outdated advice. Your money deserves better, and so do you.
Whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town. St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, you and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
Mineshaft Restaurant gift cards make perfect year-round gifts as everyone loves a free meal. Through January 15th, buy a $100 gift card, get a $20 gift card free. Order online at mineshaft.restaurant.com. Big food, big fun. It's the Mineshaft.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Spas! The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is this weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Millions of inventory must be sold. Prices are slashed up to 60% off retail, so save thousands. Save big on new hot tubs, spas, and saunas. Also cold tubs. Plus, see the Michael Phelps Signature Swim Spas by Master Spas.
Hi, I'm Michael Phelps. Join the swimming revolution.
The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show this weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Visit 800spasale.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Painting is the easiest way to breathe new life into your home. I know because we did it with CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Let the pros there help you choose the right color to your home. You're going to love it for years to come. Call your neighborhood CertaPro Painter. Ask about their color consultation services. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Eric Bilstead. As we ring in 2025, are you heading into the new year with the same old joint pain? It's time to make a resolution, to get moving again. No more achy joints for your knees, your hips, shoulders, or your back. You're going to call QC Kinetics in 2025, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. Got locations in Greenfield and Mequon under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Ashley Caravelli. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. This is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions. So many of your neighbors here in Milwaukee are living life again without the constant pain in their joints. Here's what you do. Resolve to get lasting relief in 2025. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today. Happy New Year.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show. Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
I'm Brett Matschke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 2:01, it's 29 degrees in Milwaukee. Tonight, a little bit of light snow, a low of 23. Tomorrow, morning showers, a high of 31. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm John Mercure. Growing questions surround Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass's controversial decision to visit Africa for the inauguration of Ghana's president this week while L.A. burned. Returning to L.A. today, the mayor answered questions about the nearly $18 million in cuts in the city's fire budget just months before the wildfires now ravaging parts of her city.
There were no reductions that were made that would have impacted the situation that we were dealing with over the last couple of days.
Firefighters are battling to control the series of fires that have killed at least 5 people and forced 180,000 to flee their homes. We'll have the latest on this coming up on Wisconsin's Afternoon News, live from California. A deeply personal tribute to our nation's 39th president. President Biden eulogizing his good friend Jimmy Carter at his state funeral Thursday at the National Cathedral in Washington. ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers.
President Biden said the definition of a good life is making every minute count, and that's the life his dear friend Jimmy Carter lived.
He showed us what it means to be a practitioner of good works and a good and faithful servant of God and of the people.
The president said Carter never let the tides of politics divert him from his mission to serve and shape the world.
Jimmy Carter's friendship taught me, and through his life taught me, the strength of character.
Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
TMJ4's Charles Benson is in Washington, was at the funeral, and will join us coming up on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Back in Wisconsin, an assistant basketball coach with Milwaukee Public Schools now faces a sexual assault charge.
Keelan Tyler is alleged to have picked up the child, who has special needs, before heading to a warehouse in New Berlin, where the child says the assault took place. The criminal complaint notes Tyler became upset with the way the child had cleaned a bathroom before pulling them in and locking the door. The child's mother says Tyler was their mentor between June and October of 2023. MPS has not commented on the allegations, but Tyler is still listed on the Alexander Hamilton High School website as an assistant basketball coach. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
If convicted, Tyler could face 35 years in prison. And it's Packers-Eagles at 3:30 Sunday in Philadelphia. A Philly bar and grill named Kraft Hall is hosting visiting fans at the Packers' official pep rally Saturday night. The manager tells Wisconsin's Morning News, despite their reputation, she expects Eagles fans to be welcoming.
They should definitely be able to show their spirit and come decked out in Packers gear. I think I would just try not to start an argument with any local Philadelphian in a bar.
Good advice. Kelly Doherty speaking with Wisconsin's Morning News. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow right now is up 107 points. The S&P is up 9. The NASDAQ is off 11 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:04.
This report sponsored by the Fireside Theater, the ultimate Elvis tribute musical.
Push one for the money, two for the show, three to get ready now. Go, cat, go.
Elvis is back in the building at the Fireside Theater in Fort Atkinson, and you've never seen anything like it.
Since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell.
Back in the Building features a rotating cast of the finest award-winning Elvis tribute artists and Anne Margaret, all backed by an incredible live band and ensemble. Experience the eras of Elvis in this legendary feel-good show. From the 50s to the movies, the 60s comeback to the rockin' 70s. It's all here.
Oh, see right up.
Every ticket to the Fireside includes a superb dinner prepared by award-winning chefs and a chance to visit their spectacular gift shops. Hurry, tickets are going fast. Call 920-563-9505 or visit firesidetheater.com. Elvis back in the building, live on stage, January 9th through February 23rd. Only at the Fireside Theater.
If you're living with joint pain in your shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, and you have Medicare or Medicaid insurance, coming to Rejuvenex to solve your pain problems is something you should strongly consider. First off, because our FDA-approved pain treatments have been shown in many cases to be highly effective at reducing inflammation and substantially alleviating pain. Secondly, Medicare and Medicaid cover Rejuvenex treatments, so your cost could be nothing, or next to nothing at all. Chronic pain will only worsen with age. This leads to a far more compromised lifestyle, depression, and soon they start talking surgery. And then what? You have to get in front of arthritis and chronic pain, because the sooner you do, by letting us begin to calm those pain points, the better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and we can alleviate your pain so you can rejuvenate your life. Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports. Just before that, hey, I know the markets are closed today. I gave you numbers. Those were from yesterday. I apologize. It is a day of mourning, of course, and the markets are closed. All right, now on to the sports. Packers quarterback officially limited at practice today. That's according to head coach Matt LaFleur. That, of course, is Jordan Love. Unknown what his exact status is for the game against Philadelphia. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts also limited at practice and remains in the concussion protocol. College football tonight. Notre Dame takes on Penn State in the college football semifinals. Ohio State and Texas meet on Friday. Let's look at those roads. Good news on the roads. It is quiet. No delays. No significant slowdowns. And the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, a little bit of light snow, low of 23. Tomorrow, light snow, a high of 31. Saturday, cloudy, 28. Sunday, light snow, 32. Monday, mostly cloudy, 23 degrees. Right now in Madison, cloudy and 27 degrees. In Green Bay, mostly sunny and 30. In Milwaukee, mostly sunny and 29 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:07.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
You can't get to all the stories in Wisconsin, neither can we, but we get to some more that you may have missed. If you want to hear all the details or read any detail you might have missed, 855-616-1620. You can text SPIN to the Signing Unlimited, Signing Unlimited talk and text line. That's the new one. We're happy for them to be on board. All right, let's do it. Let's spin the wheel, see what happens.
Marshfield.
Marshfield? Sorry. Marshfield. Marshfield. Okay.
Marshfield.
One of the first, yep, we got it. One of the first and most important decisions, and I can attest to this, a new parent makes for their baby is what to name them.
Yes, it is horribly difficult.
A lot of thought and debate can go into the decision, as well as realizing how many people you don't like or your spouse doesn't like, and you would never want to name your child after them. So baby names seem to run in cycles, reflecting current trends and pop culture. So the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune reported that Marshfield Clinic Health System and Aspirus Health have released the top baby names of 2024. Ooh. Marshfield Clinic Health System shared information about 2,927 births at its facilities during the 2024 calendar year. Of the 2,927 births, 1,514 were boys, 1,413 were girls. Aspirus Health shared information about, again, 2,911 births. Of those, 1,484 were boys and 1,427 were girls. At the Marshfield Clinic, the most popular girls' names were Olivia, Hazel, and Charlotte.
Those are all nice names.
They are nice
They're
names.
very classic names.
Yeah.
Like, old school.
For boys, the big names were Theodore, Henry, and Jackson, but then also Jackson spelled 19 different ways. There's the classic Jackson, and there was Jaxon, then Jaxson. So
every kid I had with that name in school was a pain.
It's like Ashley.
Yeah, forget
Ashley
it.
and Megan's. It's like, how many different ways are they to spell these
I don't
names?
need all
Jeez.
that.
Aspirus Health had Evelyn, Charlotte, and Violet as the most popular girls' names,
Wow.
and Henry, again, Oliver, and Liam as the top boys' names. I have a friend in Chicago who has two girls who are Olivia and Charlotte.
Oh,
they're great names.
nice.
They're beautiful
Yeah.
names, but they're also, I was like, they're going to have a lot. Like, those are like the most popular girls' name almost across the country right now. Like, it's not that original right now.
No, not now. It's one of those things. It seems I like the trend of going back to more traditional names.
Yeah.
I hated when crazy names were coming up because, trendy parents think it's so nice. They're not the ones who are going to be bullied all day in school.
And never be able to find the bicycle license plate that says your name.
Never.
I never even found one that was Kristin. They were always En.
Molly
this is why
had
I
a hard time,
resent
too.
all Kristins with an E.
Yeah.
Take it out on them.
And there's nothing worse than spinning that thing at an amusement park or anywhere else, and there's hundreds and hundreds of names, and your name isn't on there.
Not that I know.
Wow. So what'd you put on the back of your bicycle?
Nothing.
Nameless.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
I got away with a lot more things that way.
Who are you? I'm an enigma. Don't bother me. Wow. All right, let's spin it again.
Oshkosh.
Well, for decades, visitors to Menominee Park in Oshkosh have enjoyed all of its attractions, including the zoo and the train ride. This year is going to be different because aging equipment, budget restraints, and water access have led Oshkosh officials to discontinue the amusement rides this year. Boo. According to the city's park director, the train, as well as other amusement rides, including kayaks and paddleboat rentals, won't be available in 2025. Weather and weed growth, not the kind you think, in the early part of summer limit access to the pond area for water recreation, leading to a short season, and the aging train engine, its tracks, and lack of a secure storage facility for the train have become too cost prohibitive to maintain. Oshkosh Parks Director Ray Maurer told Fox 11 News, "This is something that we've been trying to evaluate for the last number of years as we saw the operation for the train, the cost of not only for staffing but upkeep of the train engine itself and repair of train tracks and other things to keep the operation moving." According to Maurer, the amusement rides are part of an account that is supposed to be covering its own costs while also generating some revenue to help pay for other expenses associated with its operation. That simply was not happening. A local teen has started a GoFundMe for the attractions, and city officials said, well, we're not going to derail any efforts, but in reality, a long-term commitment is going to be needed. So say goodbye to the fun train at the Menominee Park.
GoFundMes, man.
Are those still a thing?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Have you not seen how many
costs,
GoFundMes have started for the fires?
The restaurant we talked about yesterday, the Reel Inn, started one for their employees.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's make different plans for the summer, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's spin it one more time.
Sheboygan Falls.
Sheboygan Falls. I did not know there were Sheboygan and there were Sheboygan Falls. Very close to each other.
But not as close as you. I was surprised.
Basically on the other side of Kohler, it looks like.
Yeah.
Anyways, trucking is responsible for most of the overland freight movement in the United States. All those trucks need drivers, for now, who log countless miles. Kirk Phillips is an over-the-road truck driver for Johnsonville and a team member there since 1981. He has accumulated 3.1 million miles, which is a lot of driving in and of itself, but he's done that without an accident, injury, or moving violation.
Wow. He is
That's
a man
the guy
of
you want
patience.
driving.
Yes, I want him in my company.
His impressive record and safety accomplishments were recognized by the National Private Truck Council's Driver Hall of Fame during their annual conference.
Who knew?
A Johnsonville press release stated that he was one of just 4 drivers who are inducted annually. To qualify, a driver must have driven either over 3 million miles, 20 years, or 50,000 hours of consecutive driving without a preventable accident. Kirk was hired at Johnsonville to work in the plant, but began driving soon after. In 1995, Kirk became the first driver of Johnsonville's Big Taste Grill, which was created to celebrate Johnsonville's 50th anniversary. Kirk was the sole driver for 2.5 years, hauling the 65-foot grill and cold storage unit to various community, sporting, promotional events, and relief efforts around the country. Congratulations, and keep it between the lines.
Wow. Who knew there was a Private Truck Council Driver Hall of Fame?
Good for them.
Yeah. Listen, everybody should have a Hall of Fame.
Everyone should be recognized for good work. That is wildly impressive. 3 million miles without incident.
That's amazing. So keep him around, Johnsonville. He sounds like a credit to the company. If you missed any of the details of our stories today, you can text SPIN to 855-616-1620. Don't forget, you can also get a podcast of Spinning the State and the show if you just go to anywhere that podcasts are available. When we come back, oh boy, masks. They're coming back. We'll talk about it. Spinning the State.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
What are the impacts of just the constantly escalating housing costs in this market and all other markets?
Hosted by Jeff Sherman.
This has real effects on real people's lives. People's rents go up every year. People can't find an affordable starter home. People can't downsize. We need to change something.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Here's to a Wisconsin winter you will always remember. To playing outdoors in a winter wonderland. Here's to cozying up around the fire and holding someone close. And to staying downtown, where the food scene makes your heart sing. And to celebrating moments frozen in time. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your winter getaway at travelwisconsin.com. Sponsored by Travel Wisconsin.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Well, welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan. David Bowie's birthday was yesterday. Or is this Queen? They all do the same thing. Anyway, Kristen, you were sick last week.
I was.
I have no patience for dickering about music. You were saying you had the norovirus.
Mm-hmm.
You said,
I assume.
You assume. Everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people are getting the norovirus.
Or something.
But they're saying, we've got maybe a new strain of this norovirus, which, in case you don't know, it causes vomiting, it causes down below.
Evacuation and exhaustion.
That's
what I called it.
Exactly it. That makes sense. Evacuation and exhaustion. It's the leading cause of foodborne illness, according to the CDC. Typically spread through eating contaminated food or touching contaminated surfaces. Everything is gross. Wash your hands. It often spreads at restaurants and congregate settings like long-term facilities or schools or children's museums or big parties or anywhere else that people are around and not doing it. Wisconsin, only 30 cases in November. Then 100 in December. And they're saying that could be because there is a new strain. So because of all of that.
Wait, only 100 cases like in the hospitals?
Yes, in hospitals.
Because I definitely know
in the hospitals.
Family members approaching at least a third of that in just my family.
Yeah, that's hospitalization. So because of that, Aurora Health has said, we're going to bring back a temporary mask mandate.
For employees or for everyone in the building?
For everybody.
Okay.
If you are, well, first of all, they're saying nobody under 12 can go anywhere unless they're going to the doctor. They can't go visit. They can't do, they got to stay out of everything.
Because they're more susceptible?
Because they're susceptible. So that is all their rehab units, the behavioral health, inpatient hospice, infusion center, all of that. Kids can't go. Children can still go to skilled nursing facilities to visit, but not adults who have respiratory symptoms. But the reason I'm telling you this is because just those two words, mask mandate, are sure to get people all riled up again.
Do you think so if it's in a hospital setting?
Yes, I think there are, to be honest, and I've thought about this all day because I don't mind it. 2 weeks ago when I went in to have my toe procedure, a lot of the healthcare people were wearing masks, and when it got up to the operating suite, they were all wearing masks. But my wife, who was sitting in the waiting room of the hospital, everybody in that waiting room was required to put on a mask.
Okay. And
then when I went back the other day, everybody who was working at the doctor's office was wearing a mask, and they had them available. They hadn't said you need to wear one in the waiting room, but they were available in case you wanted to. And I would estimate about a third of the people in the waiting room had a mask on.
Chose to wear one.
But I still think there's that political divide that happened during the pandemic that people were it was an affront to their freedoms to be told that they had to wear a mask, that even something like this, where it's, if you're going into the doctor's office, if you're going to the emergency room, you need to put this on. It's not forever. There's been a lot of cases. And listen, we're doctors. We know better than you do. I still think there are people who are going to turn this into something that it's not. And judging by your face, you disagree.
There might be a couple individuals, but I think there's something different about being in a hospital setting because first of all, there's sick people in the hospital, right?
Yes.
Like there's a reason why to start, at least the entire 2023 when I was pregnant and going into the doctor a lot, everyone was always like all staff, doctors, nurses, administrative staff, most of them were choosing to continue to wear masks, I think, because it protected them, right? Because they're with people all day. And then some people chose to wear masks. But I just feel like in a hospital setting, the requirement of things are spreading. This is a place that's literally full of sick people.
Yes.
We need you to wear a mask. It's different than having to wear it at the grocery store. It's a different ask.
I agree with you. On that
You
point,
just don't trust people as much as I do.
No, I don't. and if you feel triggered by that, well, then put on your mask and come tell me, and I'll offer an apology. But I remember after the pandemic, and I know I hate always bringing up the pandemic, but that's when most of us
It's almost
first
4 years. We're approaching it.
Right.
No, 5 years. Sorry, 5 years.
But that's when a lot of us became aware of masks, right? We would see video from Japan and China during flu season, people wearing masks, and people would laugh, oh, look at them wearing masks. What do they think? They're all doctors, blah, 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 blah. Well, when the pandemic was over and schools were still kind of in that you should wear them, I firsthand saw how it cut down on colds and flu and kids missing and teachers missing. And so for me, while it's a hassle, I'm not going to lie, I don't love putting on a mask.
They're not comfortable.
They're not comfortable. When you wear glasses, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So I'm not out there banging the drum that we should all wear masks during cold and flu season. But if something like this comes up and we're seeing, okay, there are demonstrated numbers and demonstrated increases in respiratory illness, and one way that has been proven to stop it is to cover up your mouth and your nose, I'm fine with that. But I do think there's going to be a large swath of people who are going to make a fuss.
I don't think so. There's also just not a large swath of people who are always going to the hospital, I think, to make it. It's not because it's the mandate that was citywide or statewide or whatever. It's just like it's affecting everything. And so the protest of that is there's more instances of it bubbling up. And I would be willing, I'm not a betting person. I would be willing to bet you that we're not going to hear any blowback on Aurora for people like having a hissy fit in the lobby because they have to put on a mask.
Well, here's something else you're not going to hear very often. I hope I'm wrong.
Okay.
Because that would it bolster my complete faith in the human race? Absolutely not. But will it incrementally increase it? Sure, why not? I'll give people a benefit of the doubt. All right, we should do this, and then we'll be back. It's Spanning the State.
Spanning the State.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your fourth quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 844-763-2837 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today, 844-763-2837. That's 844-763-2837. MitchLyonsWealth.com, your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
New Year's resolution, finally do something about that old garage door. Vince Vitrano for Lifetime Door Company. Time to give the biggest door to your home the look, style, and function it demands. Our holiday guests, first thing they say when they walk in, wow, that new garage door looks really nice. Lifetime also installed a new opener. So quiet, LED lights, camera equipped. You can even run it from an app on your phone. To help fit your budget, through January, tell them Vinny sent you. They'll knock 5% off the total purchase on all service and installation. Get started at lifetimedoor.net.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avastin-capted Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today. Izervay.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
All right. Kristen, I know you disagree with me, and that's fine. A first text that came in after I said, I bet people will be upset about wearing masks, from the 414, tell me I have to, and I'm not. I won't go or I'll go somewhere else. You want to, fine, but shouldn't be able to tell me I have to. First text after we stop talking about it.
But is this, I don't know if this is a male, woman or a man, but are you going to throw a hissy fit?
I don't know.
And
what other laws do you not?
Do you not wear a seatbelt because you are told that you have to? Do you not buckle your seatbelt in an airplane when you're flying because they tell you that you have to? Do
you drive the speed limit?
Just can't tell me nothing.
That's right. I'm a free spirit. I'm American. I do what I want.
But then separately, this is interesting from a different 414 number. I was just diagnosed with walking pneumonia. I'm sorry. And my doctor actually said that it's running rampant because we masked for COVID and our immune system wasn't exposed enough and our natural defenses decreased. FYI, I'm not opposed to masking at medical facilities.
Is your Dr. Joe Rogan? I'm just wondering. I don't know where I've never heard that before. But,
Well, then separately, this is bridging the two.
Yes.
So naming children, and then also hospital rooms or waiting rooms. So I don't know if this is this is a story that was told that we tell in our family, and I don't know if it's a joke or if it actually happened. Because now that Jeff from Fox Point made mention of it, I was like, wait, have you heard me tell that story on air before? And he goes, no. So maybe this is an urban legend that people try to say that this happened to my cousin.
Right.
But the way it was always told to me is it happened to our friend's cousin.
Okay.
So they're in the waiting room and they see for a pediatrics office. And they see the nurse comes out and she looks very worried about how to pronounce these names that she's going to call for the kids to come back to see the doctor. And she says, she gives her best guess, and it is lemon jello and orange jello. And then the mom stands up and goes, it's Lamangelo and Orangelo. And so now that Jeff knows that, I was like, maybe this has been lied. I've been lied to. That it's not actually a real story that happened, but a joke about
I'm not casting
names.
aspersions on the Bry family. I have heard that as well.
All right. I'm telling my mom. But yeah, we'll come back. You have another funny name joke as well. So we will do that after the bottom of the hour news with ABC and local headlines.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Southern California, Santa Ana winds are projected to flare up in the coming hours again. Fire crews battling multiple wildfires from the ground and once again by air today. The massive fire in Pacific Palisades is still burning out of control. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is on scene.
Dozens and dozens of homes are no longer standing. And I mean, just the depth of the destruction that we're finally seeing, now that some of the smoke has gone away and it's safer to get closer, is just so heartbreaking for so many people.
In Texas, Governor Greg Abbott declaring a state of emergency due to a massive storm. Crews preparing for the potential of flash flooding. That storm also leading to more than 1,700 flight cancellations today nationwide. The casket of Jimmy Carter has arrived in Georgia for a private funeral service. It followed a state funeral at National Cathedral earlier today in Washington. President Biden delivered the eulogy honoring the 39th president. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time is 2:31. I'm John Mercure. Breaking news this afternoon. The manhunt ends for an accused murderer. Police have arrested 47-year-old Virgil Thu. He's the suspect in the triple murder in New Lisbon. He faces 3 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. His girlfriend, 33-year-old Elizabeth Kolba, and her 2 children were found dead at a home in New Lisbon on December 30th. A man's now charged with scamming an elderly Waukesha woman out of thousands of dollars. Junji Lee Yong faces a felony count of money laundering. Prosecutors say he misled the woman by pretending to work for Waukesha State Bank, where the 84-year-old victim had an account. Investigators say he instructed her to reach out to her portfolio manager and withdraw $200,000. Lee Yong was arrested during a sting operation in January when the victim was giving him what appeared to be gold bars. And Packers and Eagles kick off at 3:30 Sunday at Philadelphia. A Philly bar and grill named Kraft Hall is hosting visiting fans at the Packers' official pep rally Saturday night. The manager there tells Wisconsin's Morning News, despite their reputation, she expects Eagles fans to be welcoming as long as Packer fans aren't argumentative. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets are closed today for the official day of mourning. They will reopen tomorrow. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at your roads with the WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic. As I open up the map here, it looks like no major delays and no slowdowns this afternoon. The WTMJ 5-day forecast, light snow possible tonight, a low of 23, just a little bit. Few flurries linger into tomorrow, a high of 31. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 28. Sunday, light snow likely, a high of 32. On Monday, breezy, a high of 23 degrees. In Madison right now, it is mostly cloudy and 28 degrees. In Green Bay, mostly sunny and 30. In Milwaukee, mostly sunny and 30 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living, Unlimited News Time, 2:33.
I haven't had anything to eat for days, and being hungry hurts.
Going without oil changes can destroy your engine, but it doesn't compare to the effect of going without food. That's why the Automobile Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee is determined to make sure no one goes to bed hungry. Through March 1st, they'll donate $1 from every oil change to Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has donated over $890,000, providing more than 2.6 million meals to people across southeast Wisconsin, the majority being children and seniors. And with today's ongoing challenges, the need is greater than ever. So help the hungry while helping your vehicle. Get your oil changed by Adam Dealer Factory Train Techs at a price as low or lower than independent shops. Visit an Adam member dealer near you.
For a list of participating dealers, visit adamm.com.
We know what you're thinking, and all we can tell you is to drive careful.
Yep, Wisconsin roads are no joke this time of year, especially when you're driving on old, worn-out tires.
Schedule yourself a tire appointment with Rich Lawns. We carry all sorts of tire brands, including Goodyear, Kelly, Continental, and General, to name a few.
And every tire we install automatically comes with free tire mounting, free lifetime tire rotation, free flat tire repairs, and free alignment inspections.
Not to mention free wheel corrosion cleaning, lifetime warranty spin balance, and prorated tire protection.
Let's just say if you're driving around town, especially this time of year on old, worn-out tires, you're due for tire service.
Courtney's right. And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you have good tread on your tires, because cold, wet, icy roads are no joke. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns, and you're due for service.
Rich Lawns Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Rich Lawns.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan, and we know the reading scores throughout the state are not where DPI would like them to be or where parents would like them to be. Well, in 2023, the Wisconsin lawmakers tried to remedy that. They passed legislation known as Act 20. It requires schools to shift away from balanced literacy curriculum to a phonics-based model known as the science of reading, which, coincidentally, I was using when I was still teaching. We brought that in about 2 years ago. The law also prohibits the use of a curriculum in kindergarten through third grade that uses 3-cueing instruction, which means encouraging children to use cues like pictures to guess unfamiliar words.
Sight words, right?
No, this is different.
That's different?
Sight words are words you should just know, like the, at. You should just be able to look at those and know them. This is, if you're reading and you're getting all the words right, and then you come to a word, it's using clues. All right, well, look at the picture on the page. Maybe that'll help you. What is... If the word starts with an F and this is a flower, maybe so kids are guessing. They're okay. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, and neither did anybody else. So in December, parents from Decoding Dyslexia, the Wisconsin Reading Coalition, Wisconsin Reads, and the International Dyslexia Association's Wisconsin branch sent a letter to DPI accusing them of, quote, dragging their feet, end quote, on implementing the new curriculum. So joining us now are Katie Kashabuski, State Lead and Legislation Coordinator for Decoding Dyslexia, and Carrie Bauman. She's the co-lead and advocacy coordinator for Decoding Dyslexia. Ladies, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, let's start with Katie. As I said, the legislature passed Act 20. I gave a little background on it, but can you explain what is in the act?
Yeah, Act 20 is a comprehensive early literacy bill that encompasses curriculum, teacher training, UW, University of Wisconsin system faculty training, as well as assessment and new curriculum implementation.
So what does that look like? What is it when we hear people hear curriculum? If they're not in education, they think, well, isn't all reading the same and all math the same? What sets this curriculum apart from what was being taught or what is still being taught in schools right now?
Well, this law specifically targets students in 5-year-old kindergarten to 3rd grade. Previously, we had a reading readiness assessment, and that targeted students in 5K to 2nd grade. So Act 20 expanded that to 3rd grade students. And I'm so sorry. What was the second part of the question?
Well, what sets this curriculum apart?
As far as curriculum, okay. Yeah. So curriculum is instructional materials that schools are using to teach and instruct students in literacy skills. So curriculum could encompass regular core curriculum in the classroom, supplemental materials, as well as intervention materials. And the reason that Carrie and I pushed for this statewide change is that we were going school district by school district trying to make changes because we saw how detrimental guessing was for students that were learning how to read. And so we tried to make changes at the state level to help parents across the state so we didn't have to go school board by school board.
So then, Carrie, as far as the letter that was sent, what could DPI be doing that and they're not doing that you think that they're dragging their feet?
Well, we think that the dragging the feet part is coming from inadequate information coming from Act 20. They have enough legal, behind them that they could be asking those important questions. So the inadequacy of the information that they're giving out to districts. The fact that they are not putting forth the proper training down to the CISAs to make sure that those CISAs are getting it into their district. It's making it very confusing across the state. And even as far as looking at districts and what their curriculum is using and knowing that that curriculum has 3Qing in it and still not putting out the proper information to be able to work with those districts openly to say, hey, we noticed there's some 3Qing in your curriculum. Let's see how we can make that process for you to be able to change out of that.
Explain what you mean by 3Qing.
So 3Qing is what you had mentioned before. It's taking a word and looking at it and using the cues within that word. That is considered like 3Qing. Okay. So you, like you said, look at the first letter of the word, look at the picture, does that line up? So if you're looking at a horse, but the word is pony, a child might say horse, but it's not. So you want to make sure that you can sound out the word pony and not just look at a picture and know that it's a horse or a pony. With your background knowledge, a kid might not know what the word pony is compared to what the word horse is. So it's using the clues within the pictures instead of using the decoding skills that a child would need to decode. And then after 3rd grade, those pictures go away. So if they rely on pictures to understand what a word is, that's why you can see so much struggling after the 3rd grade, is because there's no more picture cues for kids to use. So they don't have the decoding skills behind them to be able to get to those bigger words without those pictures there.
Now, Carrie, you're with the Decoding Dyslexia. What makes this new curriculum, and either one of you can answer it, what makes this curriculum so important for children with dyslexia?
Well, dyslexics need those decoding skills, and they need those decoding skills many, many more times over than a normal natural reader. So to have those decoding skills, first and foremost, to be able to get that the base knowledge of reading is so important, and to get them to them as early as possible. Well, I mean, as parents of dyslexics, all we hear over and over again is you never read to your child enough. Oh. And Katie and I can sit here and say that we read to our children until our face was blue, until we couldn't speak anymore. Like, reading to our children was not something that we negated on.
Sure.
But we didn't teach them their decoding skills because that's what we thought the school was there for. And I don't know how to teach decoding. Katie has a degree in it, but I don't know how to break that down. I mean, it comes naturally to me because I was a natural reader, and I got the decoding skills in my education in elementary. So it comes down to those dyslexic kids need that appropriation. And I always look at it as, so you have a picture of a group of kids, one's in a wheelchair, and the stairs and the ramp are covered with snow, right? And the topic says on the top that if you shovel if you shovel the ramp first, all kids can use that ramp. Not just, but if you shovel the stairs first, then you're leaving the kids that are in a wheelchair out a chance to be able to get into that at school. So it comes with reading. If we use teaching decoding across the board, we are putting all kids on the same level, not just
That's exactly
dyslexic
what
kids.
I was going to say, Carrie.
It's a good analogy.
As far as the curriculum goes, I mean, it's definitely going to benefit students with dyslexia, but we can't forget that nearly 50% of students, if not more, need explicit direction and decoding and figuring out how to sound out words. And so while Carrie and I, our push was obviously for students with dyslexia, we realized that this was a bigger problem. And we actually had the problem when we were talking to parents. Some parents came to us thinking their students had dyslexia, and they had what we called dysthesia. They were being taught with this guessing method, and you couldn't separate out the students that had dyslexia versus the students that were just being given improper instruction.
No, and that's true. As I said, I was teaching kindergarten, first grade, second grade reading, and once we went to the art of science, you realized it wasn't just children with different learning abilities. It was everybody across the board. But we've been focusing on DPI dragging their feet, but the DPI did release a statement, and they said the legislature is holding up the funding. So who's telling the truth? Is it a problem with DPI, legislature, both?
Well, I find that interesting because I'm thinking about how this law would be implemented and the things that would happen, and I think there's multiple things happening, right? People are vying for power and control, which is always going to happen, but DPI is also giving inaccurate information to school districts. They're telling school districts that they don't have to implement changes until 2025-26. And I think that might go down to the ruling they had in DePere that DePere was okay using reading recovery, which does include 3 cueing. And it's confusing to school districts.
Okay. Well, what's next?
I think the finger pointing back and forth is first of all is disgusting in my because the people in the middle are kids and parents.
Right.
And if we want to lay it out there, right. And I have a question for all the districts out there that are shuffling their feet on this, and if the science and the evidence backs that information. I mean, you look at districts that have already implemented this and the changes that they have made. Can you look at a parent and say, I'm sorry, the money just isn't worth your child? Like, I spent $60,000 alone on my child to get him where he needed to be in reading. And he's still not where he needs to be, but that's $60,000 of my money. So now I can look at a district and say, that money isn't worth my child. But parents out there, I'm lucky enough that I have the money to spend on my child. What about the parents that don't? And that's what bothers me is I get that they need the money, but you also need to be able to help every single child in your district. So something has to give until the state comes down and makes that decision. But to blame it on money being held up and you're not going to move forward with it is just, in my book, disgusting.
And I think people are forgetting the fact that the veto that Evers put in, that line item veto, DPI could do anything with that $50 million. It's K through 12. They could spend it on school lunches or whatever. really. And who's going to hold them accountable to spend that $50 million on literacy initiatives? We've been told, too, that there's no funding for curriculum, that DPI is going to spend the money on everything else before they spend it on reimbursing school districts for the curriculum grants, which is a slap in the face to the districts that made these changes in good faith. I would advocate for the money going out, the money going to school districts, and even putting more money in it, honestly, in this next budget.
Well, it's hard to keep complaining about low reading levels when things aren't getting done that could be done. Katie Kashabuski and Carrie Bauman are with Decoding Dyslexia. Ladies, thanks for being here. We'll keep an eye on what's happening in the legislature. Hopefully this gets moved along quickly.
Thanks for bringing it to people's attention. Thank you.
Take care. It is tough, and we went from a phonics-based reading curriculum, which is the old school, probably the way you learned to read, to this crazy 3Qing and all this other stuff, and that didn't work. And then we went to this science of reading, which is, it teaches mouth position, teaches where your tongue should be, if you're making a TH sound, all of that, taking it back, because it seems like an old-fashioned mentality, but if you don't know what a letter sounds like, you can't put it together to form a word. And before it was just like, let's guess, which to me is like in math when they say, well, let's estimate what the answer will be. No, it's not really how it works. But it's being proven that phonics-based reading curriculums are the way to go. So hopefully between the DPI and the legislature, they get this figured out. We will see. I'm not going to hold my breath. Just like with the people in the masks. Not a lot of faith. All right, but I'm happy. Let's move on, and we'll be back with more at Spanning the State.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. But it's simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle, so I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds.
By now you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semperfi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semperfi.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucks fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at Bucks.com/tickets. That's Bucks.com/tickets.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
On 894 North, just before the National Avenue exit, the right lane is closed. There's a medical emergency, it looks like.
Call me, Debbie Loziga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hello, Debbie. 41 South, just before Capitol Drive. There are 2 cars involved in an accident.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
Goes fast.
It sure does. And you're probably wishing it lasted a little more. You were at the beginning of the show. You mentioned that you were out in the cold today. I know you were out prospecting. What were you filming?
We were filming something for Journal Sentinel as far as the new developments happening in the Harbor District.
Ooh.
So if you know where the Michaels building is.
Okay.
And all of the new development on the Riverwalks and the Komatsu site and stuff like that. And so we were running around filming. It was very sunny out, but it was very cold. And so trying to talk and we're like, having conversations outside as we were recording. By the end, my mouth was pretty stiff as far as how frozen my upper lip felt. Literally, not figuratively.
Clark, her eyes are frozen. So now, were you getting mad if somebody made a mistake and they had to restart?
There was no script. We were just talking.
Just talk.
So
Okay,
it's
good.
Tom Dakin,
Okay.
who obviously is we've had him on the show,
Sure.
longtime real estate reporter for the Journal Sentinel, an encyclopedia when it comes to upcoming development, past development, why things moved. But what I thought was really interesting was the Komatsu site, which is now in the Harbor District, which is actually beautiful as far as what it looks like down there. But it used to be in West Milwaukee. And one of the benefits of it being in the Harbor District is because it's a working harbor. And so now what they use, they make these massive machines that dig out like a big, massive shovels, basically, so that then they can be, then they can mine because they're moving the dirt and everything.
Yeah.
But if you think about before, when they were in West Milwaukee, they then would have to truck, as we were talking about the truckers, to the harbor to then be on a boat to get shipped out. And now it eliminates one of those steps.
Very nice.
Before it was just like a dormant area. So
is this part of a series?
It's going to be part of a quarterly series, yes.
Quarterly series.
So watch out for that.
Very exciting. All right, well, we got to get out of here because Wisconsin's Afternoon News is ready to come in. So we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Friday.
See ya.
Catch up on Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
It's not the extension of pumpkin spice season. No, it is not a maple cold foam cold brew.